Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate you being here. Doctor, you came into roughly a 19,000 person agency. Your budget top line's about 3% less. But there's been estimates as high as potentially 4,000 reduction in force, voluntary or actual RIFs. Where are you on that, and how's it going? You and I, again, talked about this before. I was, you know, and at that time, we talked about how once you got in there and had more time, you know, you were going to obviously have a better analysis of what your needs are and where you're at with the personnel situation. So go through that for us, will you?
Sure. So there have been about nearly 1,900 people involved in the reduction in force, roughly another 1,200 plus involved in the early retirement package. We are hiring scientists to replace scientists that may have left for an early retirement. But no scientific reviewer or inspector was cut as a part of the reduction in force. Now, any discussion of the reduction in force, I believe, deserves one important fact of context, which is always omitted in the media coverage, and that is in 2007, the FDA had a little over 9,000 employees, and a few months ago it was 19,000. So there was a 100% increase in the number of employees at the FDA over the last 15, 16 years, and that is how we get 2,600 HR people, contracts and budget people at the agency. 380 communications positions. We're now down to about 160. They're doing a good job. 160 people. That covers a lot of the communication work. Did we need 125 travel coordinators and travel offices in each center, or 13 strategy offices at the FDA? A lot of this reorganization is smart, and it's being smart with taxpayer dollars, because I personally believe when this institution here, U.S. Congress, is spending $2 trillion more than we have as a country, it is driving inflation, which is a backhanded tax on the poor, and that is the harsh reality. It doesn't affect people with wealth like myself. It affects the 50% of Americans that have less than $500 of cash on hand, and they are forgotten when we spend too much money and we drive inflation, and that's why I support many of these reductions in force where it makes sense.
Okay. But you also get fee agreements from, you know, drug companies that want to get new drugs to the market, and so you have to be able to staff for that so that you bring in that fee revenue, which of course is not a cost to the taxpayer. So I agree with you. Yeah. We need to find better ways to do things. We need to find savings, and that's good. But talk to us how you're making sure that you manage things. I mean, again, paramount, your mission of safety, as we talked about in the front end. I know you understand that. You're a doctor. Took the Hippocratic Oath. But those fee agreements make it more complicated, but they bring in revenue. Talk about that, as well as making sure we get these new drugs to the market as safely and efficiently as possible, because that ultimately saves lives.
Yes, Senator. So thank you for that question. And again, I want to reassure the public to see through the headlines and to know that the trains are running on time at the FDA, and we're on track to meet all of our user-free fee targets as an agency. And we need the staff to help with the user fee management, and that's why I've made sure that we have the appropriate staff to make sure that we can report on our user fees and sort of serve as conductors in managing the user fee targets. Now, look, I'm a surgeon, and so the reductions in force are never perfect, so I've done everything humanly possible since I've gotten there to try to make sure we heal and reorganize appropriately. We have brought back some people, and my job is to make sure that the scientists and inspectors, that the law enforcement officials at FDA have all the resources they need to do their job well.
Okay. I think I'm going to give you a short question, save my long, well, no, I'm going to go with a longer one. I'm going to probably run over my time a little bit, ranking member, so I'll beg your indulgence and certainly return the favor. The Maha Commission's coming out with their, report, I think pretty much right after this hearing.
Yeah, noon.
Yeah, so if you want to kind of give us all the details right now, that's great, and just get a jump on things. But guessing that you might not, you do need to talk to us about it, in that, as I laid out in my opening statement, this committee has jurisdiction both in regard to all of your funding at FDA, but also USDA for our farmers and ranchers. And we have to address both. So I know you're coming out, HHS writ large is coming out with this MAHA study plan today. But as I said in my opening, we're very concerned not only how that's going to affect the American consumers, but also how that's going to affect agriculture. And as you know, agriculture goes, I mean, they're regulated like everybody else. In fact, in my opinion, they're over-regulated like everybody else. And so, with this report coming out, yeah, I get y'all are going to be working very hard to make sure it's scientifically based and all that, but a lot of what our farmers and ranchers in producing that food supply have had to do, that's all scientifically based too, heavily regulated, and there's been years and years and years of that analysis and regulation done, and a heck of a lot of expertise. So, how do you approach that in this plan of action and the analysis that you're doing and so forth, and the studies you're doing, to make sure that that's adequately included in terms of your evaluation and the results and the recommendations that you make?
Well, Senator, you shouldn't be concerned about the MAHA report. It is simply information, and it's important information about health, written by people who have excellent citations and are representing the many scientists that have been waving a flag in the air for many years saying, hey, look at root causes. We have the sickest, most disabled, most medicated, most obese population in the history of the world. Half our nation's kids are sick. And why are they sick? Because when the immune system or some inflammatory response is reacting to the many different chemicals that go down their GI tract, they feel blah, they don't feel well. And so we have got to look at root causes. Now, there's no single chemical in the food supply that is accounting for a root cause for the driving our chronic disease epidemic, but I think everything has to be on the table. We, for example, at the FDA just convened 2 days ago a roundtable on talc. Now, talc has been identified as a cancer-causing agent. It's been removed from baby powder. There have been 30 studies saying that talc may cause ovarian cancer in women with a high odds ratio and statistical significance. International cancer bodies have warned about the cancer-causing effect and the mechanism of talc, and so it's been removed from baby powder. But do you know kids are eating talc every day? It's in candy. You take chewing gum and the white powder on there, people think it's sugar. Sometimes it's talc. Talc is in our food supply. Kids are eating talc. And it's not just in food, it's in medicines. The number 1, 3, 9, and 10 most common medications in the United States have talc on it. Why? Because it's a lubricant. It's just the way we've been doing business. It's a lubricant in the machines when it's mass-produced. Well, there's a low-cost alternative that is generally considered to be safe. We're not fighting anybody here. We're trying to bring the latest scientific information to inform good decisions. And I think you're going to be pleased with the MAHA Commission report. It puts at the forefront of our discussions of health many issues that scientists have been talking about for years. Never in my oncology meetings did we talk about the root causes of cancer. Cancer's going up in kids. Young people under age 50, everyone's scratching their heads. You get a diagnosis. They come to Johns Hopkins. We would look at them, and parents would say, what could possibly cause this? Well, guess what? We don't talk about any of this in our national conferences. That is what the MAHA Commission report is going to talk about. What have we been talking about? Insulin, chemotherapy, CAR-T therapy, radiation, sophisticated operations. We've got to talk about food and chemicals, not just chemo and insulin. And so this MAHA Commission is going to put front and center as setting our research priorities, setting a national conversation, setting our own internal goals, so that we're going to deliver in another 100 days from today some of what we're going to do. The MAHA Commission report is a diagnosis, and I think we have to do something differently. We have a healthcare system that's breaking the budget, that's resulting in inflation, that's burdening businesses, that's the #1 cause of household bankruptcy in the United States is medical bills, and no one is talking about the root cause, and that is the health of the population that is actively deteriorating right in front of our eyes. And so we've got to move from a reactionary healthcare system where we're playing whack-a-mole with all these treatments in the hospital and late stages and talk and be proactive and actually talk about the root causes and why we don't see some of these problems in other countries. I think this report is going to be the cornerstone of a broader discussion, and there's no one single ingredient that's going to be vilified.
So after the report comes out, after we do some work on your budget, we're going to want you to come back and talk to us. Are you going to be willing to do that?
Of course, I love to talk.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ranking Member Sheen.